The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. It doesn't matter whether you're having a nice little drink up in Alaska or out in a cornfield in Nebraska, as long as you're here at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we've got the S&P's off 63. Dow looks down 363. NASDAQ, the worst offender, down 2.2%. And we just have a few things going on. And first of all, got a little bit of pin action in Facebook. We had a so-called whistleblower come out. She wasn't really a whistleblower, just somebody that was cranked that they didn't do more to molest free speech. She got confused when she read the First Amendment and thought it said freedom from speech, not freedom of speech. So probably down 5%, but you know what? I don't think it's going to last a long time, because her point was that we just didn't have enough authoritarians telling everybody what to think. And that's what she was all torqued off about, instead of the actual molestation of the First Amendment, freedom of speech. So, yeah, you're off $18, but, I think this is just a long line of things that are going to hit Facebook in the future. Everybody's got an axe to grind. She didn't think they went 1984 and animal far enough. I think that they jumped the shark about 8 years ago on that count. So everybody on both sides, you stand in the middle of the road, you're probably going to get hit by someone coming by one way or another. And of course, probably the reason that we didn't go up, I was looking for a much higher open this morning on the close on Friday. It looked fairly good. The downside, well, you fly 75 jets over Taiwan from China, and you rattle the markets because guess what? 80% of all the chips and design work in chips is done in Taiwan. And more than a little bit of threat. And of course, over the last day or so, we've seen a lot going into a new alliance of South Korea, Japan, Australia, and Taiwan, thinking that the U.S. is going to sit this one out. So they're starting to put together at least some kind of response to this. I don't think China wants to go in there and blow everything up and start over from scratch with their chip designs. Not only would we not be buying them anymore as a sign of protest, and we'd go back to actually building something here in the old U.S., but they'd like to take it over without firing a shot. So they'll continue to rattle their saber, yell and scream. But the Taiwanese people for a long time have known that they have one nice thing, military advantage, a giant moat between them and the mainline Chinese communists. But what can you say? They want it. They're going to cajole. Kind of like dealing with the mob. They don't want to really kill you because you can't pay them if you do. But they want that chip manufacturing and design capability because it is the ball bearing factories of the new century here. In the Second World War, the B-17s were sent out every day, mostly to blow up ball bearing factories, because if you blew up the ball bearing factories, guess what? There wasn't anything getting built. Nothing was moving. Whether they had gas or not, it wasn't going nowhere. So our main objective was to blow up the stuff that started in the feedstock part of military building in the Second World War. China rightly thinks that we're probably somewhat diminished here in the United States. But kind of in a side note, all the bombing and buzz bombs from Germany into England really made the resolve stronger, not weaker. And generally, that is one of probably the big things that. What is that? They're communists and fascists. Now that you have a little bit of capitalism in there, hard to tell exactly what the Chi-Coms are now, other than probably just big mobsters for the most part, kind of like Russia. Anyway, a lot about Taiwan. It is the key. How we ever I know how we did it, and that is that no one wanted any of this stuff in their backyard. They didn't want anybody making any kind of waste. They didn't want this. They didn't want that. And guess what? The technology went to a country where they did want the jobs. They did want to educate their kids. And unfortunately now, it is an aircraft carrier sitting off the coast of China, but it controls 80% of the marbles. The rest pretty much South Korea, a little bit of stuff going on here in Arizona for Intel, but that's pretty small. Good, cajole, man. Very good. More authoritarian cowbell. Got that? Anyway, give me a call today, 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And we're at one of those levels here where you have to worry about it. Anyway, let's do a little history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1957, the first man-made satellite to orbit Earth, Sputnik 1, is launched around from Kazakhstan, marking what is now considered the beginning of the space age. Surprising the world with its successful launch, Sputnik triggered the space race between the Soviet Union and the United States, ushering in an era of rapid advancement in the field of space exploration. After 3 months in orbit, Sputnik re-entered the Earth's atmosphere and burned up on January 4th, 1958. Of course, most people don't know the rest of the story. And that is that Eisenhower at the time, we had our own satellite ready to go. A guy was driving it around with it in his trunk. They could have put it on a missile and fired it any day. We didn't find out till almost into the 90s that Eisenhower's calculation was that if we sent that over their country, then they may start squealing about overflights, but if they did it first, then they wouldn't think about it. And that was it. The rest of the story.
Now you know the rest of the story.
I miss that guy. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
As we return, the first stock on the scale here today is Adobe. And we took a brief look at this on Friday. We were looking for it to come in and fill this gap. That gap goes back to June 18th with 6.8 million shares. You got about 2.4 million shares in there today. So if you've been thinking about Adobe, not a bad time to be thinking about scaling in here. We're about halfway through that gap now. And of course, I always think that my original model, which is coarse but good, is that 50% of any stock movement is from the rest of the market. About 25% of it is the sector, and about 25% of the actual stock. Now, sometimes it's 75% about the stock, but generally over time, most stocks, the movement can be kind of cut up into that way. If the market's not going up, then a lot of stuff's not going up. So market correlation, sector correlation, and then lastly, the stock itself. But that is about where we're at right now. Got an email here. Last week I said slide was coming Wednesday or Thursday. No, I thought that if we were going to have a problem, it would be Thursday or Friday. I thought we'd be strong today, and we are not. I actually had 3 equity positions going into this morning, and none of them are really that bad off. One's actually up 15%. More on the industrial military complex side of that, but it should be good. The other 2 down a little bit, actually up from my buy on one, starting to scale back in. So, could this just be the last of the big shakeouts in this? It's very tough for me to believe that China would go ahead and invade, because that just means it's going to be rougher for them the rest of their life. They're going to want to cajole, move, slide, bother inflame until the Taiwanese are ready to give up. That may be a long time, like I said. If there was a lesson from the buzz bombs and the V2s and the night bombing by the bombers of London, was actually just makes the resolve stronger most of the time. That's until there's nothing left and nobody else left. But that's a very expensive way to run a war. But we did it. Burned Taiwan, or burned Tokyo to the ground, basically. Dresden firebombed to nothing. So it occasionally does work that way, but not always. But all we have is a history as a guide for the future, mostly because most people think that everything's changing. And the one thing that they know that, or should know, but don't, a lot of people don't, is that it's human nature that doesn't change, doesn't matter how much you learn. And that's why we go to these patterns in the stock market, because guess what? Those patterns work because they're all based on fear and greed and what's going on in that part, not how much you know, but how you can control your emotions. And yes, I had a question today about that. But to get to Hector's point, I thought that if we have a big down day, it would be Thursday or Friday. We've just got fun buying today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And that should wrap it up. Generally, that's fairly good. So my thought, though, is China comes back. Things are probably going to be a little bit better. They're probably going to cut down on the rhetoric. But I was wrong about this weekend, so what does that tell you? Anyway, anything close above 4,300, I think we could see a close above 4,400 by Friday. I think there's so many people short. There's so much money sitting on the sidelines now, and everybody wants to buy something. It may just be different than what's going on. I also would be a lot more worried in the markets if we were seeing the TLT acting like it was last week, which is getting ready to self-immolate like a Buddhist priest in the Vietnam era. We all remember him. Deep reference there. How many people are... I always assume everybody's at least got the history lesson of a 70-year-old, but I probably am wrong on that. Anyway, TLT 145, you did gap down here. Maybe we come back with some big spending that the bond vigilantes come after, but I think it's probably something that isn't going to happen till after the first of the year. These things, they just don't hammer away at them. They have to go through Congress in a certain manner. And generally, if you have a big failure, it takes another 3 months to regroup. Question about Intel I keep coming back to with other folks, and that is whether or not Intel, because they make chips here in the United States, are a big deal. And no. In fact, I saw something Friday which was kind of amazing, and that was Intel was making a big to-do about them upgrading their technology on this new chip. And I wanted to do this. Little golf clap, maybe queen clap. Well, Taiwan Semiconductor and Global Foundries have been doing that for 5 years. Literally, Intel just caught up, and they tried to act like it was a big deal. That they were, so advanced. Well, no, they were 5 years behind. That's the big problem. If we're talking about making individual chips like Texas Instruments on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 5-ish. There's nothing real tough in a lot of the stuff that Texas Instruments makes. But if you're making an AMD processor, an NVIDIA processor, there's one company that does it, and it's Taiwan Semiconductor, which is why China leaning on them with the jet fighters is such a big deal. And, of course, we're down a little bit on this. But actually, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of feeling that maybe it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is. Last time we were down in this level at 107.68, we had 12 million shares. Didn't quite get there today, but only about 5 million shares so far. So if everybody was going to toss their cookies on this thing, it's kind of just making a bottom, I think, in the short term. Fake it until you make it. That's always the way it does. Okay. I think I got some more emails. Give me a call today. This is a good day to do it. 877-927-6648. Oh, Yosemite Sam. Just got that from Friday. Thanks, Mr. Hips. Be back in a minute.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Off 65 points on the S&P cash, down 369 on the Dow, NASDAQ down 331. And, of course, it's the biggest loser of the day. Up the most, of course, on a percentage basis is crude, and a variety of reasons for that. But I keep on looking at the TLT, mostly because if we were going to have probably much lower prices, that would be part of it. Let's go back here and look at the dollar index for a second. Let's see, pop it up real quick. What do we have here? Forex. Okay, DX. 70 or 93.77. So, we had kind of a big move off on the dollar from 94.10, a little higher than that. Anyway, I think the Fed is kind of like that 93 area, wants to do all it can to make sure that it stays in that area. But I was going to say, the bonds probably be hit a lot harder today if the market was going to blow out the lows. But we're waiting for that fund buying. And normally it starts by now, but I think a lot of fund managers probably got their cards fairly close to the vest. We may have to wait till the end of the day to see whether or not they all get all froggy on us and started jumping, or they decide to turn tail and run. Give me a call today, 877-927-6648. Got a question on CCJ. How much does California getting rid of their last nuclear power station have to do with the price of CCJ? Like you said, it's the last one that they have. Kind of amazing that they're shutting down the only consistent power that they have after not being able to provide power an entire summer with rolling blackouts. But what else can you say? As long as Kamiko stays above this 3x3, I think you're probably okay. I would worry about it if it gets down below or breaks that. You could get right back down to the 17 area. And in the meantime, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't at least go back and retest the 26 area one more time. You had a lot of volume up there. I don't see a lot of weakness out here. It's very tough in the United States to have nuclear power. Most people don't understand that all the accidents, all the big accidents, all of them happen for one reason. And that is that people were playing with the machines to see what would happen if they failed. 3 Mile Island. Test to figure out what would happen if something broke. Chernobyl. Test to see what happened if a water system broke. Literally every time these people go out there and start screwing around with stuff, a couple of things happen. And that's it. And it's very tough to take the human element out of having any nuclear power station here, at least in the United States. But we haven't had a big accident since that. What was it, 1980, 79? I think 1979 for 3 Mile Island. And one of the few things that I agreed with Jimmy Carter about, mostly because he was a nuclear engineer, he set up a panel to go back and do exactly what we do on airplane crash investigations. And since then, not a peep of a problem with nuclear power generation in the United States, because everybody actually understands what's going on. 3 Mile Island happened for one primary reason, and that is that everybody that was running the plant and ran all the plants were all trained by the U.S. government and the Navy for U.S. nuclear submarines, and the nuclear power plants don't work the same way. It's a lot of difference between having a very small nuclear reactor and a submarine and a very large one to have enough power for the entire city. What else has happened? So on this, pretty good deal. Everybody understands how to run light water reactors. If you build a containment building around them, nothing happens, but it isn't going to matter. We're going to have to wait for probably fusion, which is another 5 or 10 years down the road to actually show promise, and then maybe another 20 years. We'll probably be reliant on natural gas since then. less than 3% of the power in the United States, at least, comes from solar or wind. Let's say it gets to 10%. It won't matter if the wind stops blowing or the sun goes away. We need it 24/7. Okay. Question about what's going on. Okay. Question about Generac. Would that make Generac even more popular? GNRC. Frankly, they don't want you having power in California. And if everybody doesn't have it, you shouldn't have it either. They're trying to make individual generators illegal of any size other than 2,000 watts. So you'd have enough to maybe to run a refrigerator or a blow dryer, but that's about it. They're trying to make sure that literally everybody is dependent on the government for providing power, and that you shouldn't be able to provide it if they can't give it to you, which is, well, it's back crap crazy, right? We don't know about anything other than that. But yeah, Generac, GNRC, actually not too bad. You're back down in this 283 candle that goes back to July 28th. That had that was 383.10 with a little less than 3 million shares. Friday, 670,000 shares. Today, about 400,000 shares. Nice trading range from here to about 460, 465-ish. I don't see this thing breaking down. The volume, you had one big day on the, the 29th. But that was it. You had some decent volume. That was the rest of the market, though. If it continues to dry up, you've got some fairly good dividing lines, I think, in the entire market. If the market doesn't hold here, if we start wailing before the end of the day, then you probably should stop out. But if this holds, I think you've got a nice run. Could see 4,400 by the Friday. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we come back. And as we come back, question from one of the listeners out here is, so why are all these social media sites down this morning? I figured a bunch of whack jobs who have nothing better to do, probably going after them after that 60 Minutes piece last night. So, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't have a Twitter account or a Facebook account or any of the rest. I always kind of went along with Groucho Marx. I'd never have a club that would have me for a member, but I imagine I'd be just full of hate and rage if I went on those sites all day. I mean, more than I am. Self-defacement. 877-927-6648. Question on the TLT. I think it's going to hang out here. The bond vigilantes are just standing back, making sure that the coast is clear, and then they'll probably back up a little bit. But they're a little worried, so I think they're going to keep the pressure on a bit, but they're not going to drive it like they did last week down to 138. Which is what I thought, if we continued on with the spending bills, where the bond folks would go. Other things going on. Yeah, there's a lot of other carnage in the market. Depends on what you're looking at. I don't think there's a whole lot you can say about it. Once above 4,300 on the S&P, I think that's probably one of the bigger road marks out here. This will look like yet another low in the market. And let's see what we have here. I mean, we got a lot of volume, but almost all of this volume has been in the broader indexes. I suspect, but cannot prove, I'll look at it tonight in the data. My guess is that we are seeing a lot of action as people are lining up to buy stocks for the fund managers. So they're dumping them in the mornings, and then they're coming back and buying what they want for the fall in the afternoons or late in the day. So let's keep an eye on it. But, there are a lot of stocks that should have just broken today. Every opportunity, you're down 60 points, and they haven't. So what does that tell you? Question about gold, GDXJ. You got a little move. Well, the nice thing is that maybe you're making some kind of significant low on this. You are above the 3x3. What you would like is a retest. Now, you don't have to go all the way back down to 37.31, but maybe halfway back into this candle, 37.60, 37.70, and then the next move above that is probably going to be where this thing really gets moving. If you were wanting to play it for a bull move, but you want a little bit more. You did go back and retest that long-term gap. You've got 3 gaps below, and you've got a double gap at about 56. So I don't know on the timing, but I would say on the long term, I would say you're between 37.31 and 56-ish for a trading range in GDXJ, which is, that's a nice move, and it took you what? 4 months to get there. Could you see that before Christmas? It depends on how things go. If the Fed keeps talking up inflation, maybe Bitcoin starts moving around a little bit and down, people may be coming home to the gold and gold miners again. But actually, this looks like, or that 37.31 looks like a fairly decent low to have bought. But to really get going, I would love to see this come back down below the 3x3 or a 9-day moving average. And then the next move above it, it'd be where I'm going after it, where I'd buy it. We got a few more out here. Okay. Let's see, anything else? I do not see anything else at the moment, although I'll have to get my emails here in the break, repopulate them and see. William Shatner, I did not watch it, but I did see at least some of the news articles about making fun of Jeff Bezos on Saturday Night Live. Apparently, it was the first semi-funny thing they've had in years on there, at least from what I've heard. Other things going on. Let's go back here and look at this. Question about Snap. Do I think it's still the best of breed? I think it is, because it's going to avoid a lot of the antitrust stuff that everybody else is stuck in. We talked about how much I love to buy stuff about halfway through one of these monster gaps. I would still say you don't have any volume. If we do fail, if this gets down to 67, we find support maybe in the broader markets back here. Yeah, 67 would be the dream buy on light volume. And you got light volume today. You may not get back down there, but that would be the best risk reward. That'd be about $67, 67.50-ish on Snap. And it's just not the other ones. It doesn't come with the baggage of the other ones. It doesn't come with the whistleblowers of the other ones. And it doesn't come with a lot of the horrible things that the other ones have already done. Question to take a quick look at Google as a follow-up to this. Same kind of thing. You made a top, you came back down. The last big move in this on volume was the up day on July 28th, where you had almost 5 million shares. You're down into that with about 1.7. So they're at least in stocks, a bunch of them like Adobe we looked at earlier, Google out here, that are looking at setting up some kind of decent support levels. Got to 26.21 on this. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft too, although it's not a social media maven. Here we are, 4,300. I think I can. You're back through and into the support area at 280. Got to 280.25 today and took a bounce. That's about all I think you can expect out of it. Now, of course, they said they had this big fund buying thing. Doesn't look like they've been buying anything or stock buyback. They haven't been buying anything quite yet. But, that money's there. What is it, 10 billion? 20 billion. It's something with a B, but I don't see a lot of indications they've done it yet. Be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value, buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we get ready to wrap up the day, we're going to be able to see a real big signal in the market one way or the other, and that's going to be whether or not these fund managers actually start buying into the close today. We're hanging right around 4,300, which is not but 20 points off the lows after being down 60 points right now. Of course, down 2% on the NASDAQ. I think a lot of people will probably figure out that if China was going to invade, they would have done it with all those jets. They're just trying to stir up trouble at the moment or discontent. But that's a long path to take. So I'm not particularly worried right now that they're doing that stuff. But we shall see. Anyway, we need that fund buying money to come in. China's closed, those Oriental markets closed until Friday, right? In fact, I actually had it up. Let me see if I can't find it. There are sites that have all the vacation days. So I'm not going to be surprised that we see some out-of-the-box thinking this week in our market. Yeah, they're open Friday again. But that's it. They are not closed for the rest of the year. In fact, they close for New Year's Day over there. And then into February, they have 4 or 5 days. But this week, they've got their National Day. And that's kind of it. So we're going to see a little less from China. It's going to be kind of quiet. Most of the people are out having fun and having a vacation. Friday, we get back to that. So look for Thursday night to start really looking at it. But I suspect we probably have a big rally into the coming back and a lot of this stuff. Maybe coming off the zeitgeist. Yeah. So when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.